So there's been some write-ups and there's been some talks about ice boating, and some of the thoughts have been, if you want to learn how to sail an ice boat like a rock star, there's only one person in the world that you should be listening to, and that's Buddy Melges, who's here with us today. Let's give him a hand.
All right, buddy.
And Buddy's first words to me here, he said, was, well, I'd listen to Bill Mattison if he was him. So if you want to learn how to build the best technical ice boats and to have the best knowledge of ice boats in the world, you'd want to know and you want to talk to Bill Mattison. Let's welcome him. Welcome, Bill. All right, so there's really three elements to ice boating. There's the learning how to sail the boats well, of course, and then there's learning how to build the boats and to know everything about them. But then there's the other element to ice boating that anybody here who knows about ice boating is the BS and the partying. And so if you want to learn how to BS and party like a rock star, then you got to listen to my boss, Peter Harken.
Most of you do know, a lot of you know Buddy Melges and his record, and he's also a pretty good ice boater. In fact, the old bugger has won the Northwest in some of our big regattas, probably almost more than anybody, except maybe not for Bill Mattison. Bill Mattison is one of these legends in ice boating, and the guy's kind of retired from it, and there'll never be another one like it. He suckered me into this sport about 20 plus years ago, when I was doing something sane like alpine skiing and stuff like that, where there was women and ambiance and social activities and stuff. And all of you ice boaters know about how popular that sport is with women and social stuff. So generally what happens is we get very crude, we're in the bars, and we're drinking copious amounts of beer and telling enormous lies about how fast we're going. And the more beer we drink, the faster we go. And that's where a lot of our racing is, because we don't get to do much of this sport. The trouble is, it kind of gets addictive. You know, it's hours and hours of building and stuff and rebuilding and driving the ice and not sailing and this and that. But the few times you do get in the boat, the adrenaline goes crazy, and because we don't have a lot of brains, we do forget about all that other stuff, and we just keep doing it. I've always said the guy never stops doing something. Whenever I'm at his house, when Bill Mattison goes to the toilet, he's got a drill press in there. He never stops, you know? Yeah. All right, I've done enough yakking. I think I'll turn this over to Buddy, and we can talk a little about the boats.
You know, the great thing about ice boating is you can do so much on the water, okay, in the summertime, with noodling and things like that. In the ice boat game, it's all done in the basement, so to speak. And you dream about all these beautiful days of mirror ice and going 6 times the speed of the wind. It's exhilarating, there's no question about it. If any of you have the opportunity to come up, it doesn't matter whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Every day is Sunday at Lake Geneva when we have ice. And right now, of course, you got Chuck's Bar right there. As Peter said, you can talk it all over and hear how the exaggeration of speeds and everything else prevail. And pray that that runner isn't where the mast belongs, and the mast is laying on the ice. The honey bucket over here that Bill built for Peter, it's just a beautiful boat. And when you get in it, it's like a race car. The exhilaration is fantastic. Going around the windward mark and raising the runner not more than belt high. In the ice boat, we do have a different terminology. But anyway, we won't advertise it today. The exhilaration, I mean, just a thrill of ice boating is really something. But I'll tell you what, you better have a lot of patience because you spend, as I say, more time in the basement getting them ready. And as you can see here, there isn't a scratch on it, but I just wonder if we couldn't take care of that right now. Oh, sorry. Anyway, Bill, Tell us all.
Does anyone have any particular questions? Maybe I can chirp a little bit in that direction.
Can you tell us what kind of speeds are we looking at here? And then the second question with that is, what kind of speeds do people actually talk about afterwards at the bar? And what is the real world record speed?
Well, you got me. Everybody's got their own thing. I just heard 84 miles an hour now. Peter told me that. No, but they go fast enough. We don't really care about open-end speed. If it did, if that was what we were after, we'd build the boats entirely different. These are made to go around a race course, upwind, downwind, and sail against other competitive boats.
Buddy said anywhere from 5 to 6 times the speed of the wind. So if you're in 10 knots of wind, you're going 50 knots. And I'm not kidding, that's what you're doing, you know. So you can imagine when you're at 20 knots of wind. I can tell you that above 15 to 20 knots of wind, I have to change my pants after every race.
Can you make some comments on the tie between softwater sailing and ice boating?
Well, years ago, when you went around the windward mark in the summertime, you put up the spinnaker, you squared the pole to the side stay, and you turned it dead down the wind. You opened the cooler and got out a beer and a ham sandwich, and that was it. But then all of a sudden, because of ice boating experience, I think I was one of the first guys to really start sailing across the wind, down the wind, and making it stick big time. The performance that you get from ice boating so helps the saltwater sailing as far as sensations, bringing your wind forward and speeding up, making the downwind leg a more tactical part of the sailboat race.
And how many days out of the year do you guys get to go ice boating? When are the conditions good enough? It's for Peter, it's one. Buddy, how many for you?
Well, every day is Sunday, so
Every day is Sunday for Buddy.
I don't worry about.
But it's a great sport. But the best way to get in the sport is have a lobotomy performed on you first, and you'll do really well, really well.
One thing I can say is it's a real sacrifice to get all of these guys together here instead of being out on the ice. So let's give them a really, really warm thank you. Thank you very, very much.